with details on the backstage altercation from AEW Dynamite and more. This is Wrestling Up. My name is John, and you're watching the Wrestling Report. Before we get into the rest of the video, make sure you subscribe to Wrestling Hub and turn on all notifications to stay up to date with everything in the world of pro wrestling. Also, don't forget to follow us on Instagram at Wrestling Hub Official and follow us on Twitter at Wrestling_Hub. Giving praise to AEW President Tony Khan, Jim Ross had this to say about his contributions to the women's division. The great thing I like about Tony Khan's booking is that different body types get different opportunities. They are fair and they are all there, but he's open-minded to that. We don't have divas, we have lady wrestlers, and I love that. They had varied body types. Back in the day with Sable, the wrestling business, when they talked about women they were used to seeing, talking about Moolah, Mae Young, and all these legends. And certainly, nobody ever saw anyone quite like Sable. Talking after the bell about his feud with Seth Rollins ahead of their match at Extreme Rules, Matt Riddle touched on his life away from the ring as he noted, "Well, I'll say this, my personal life is in shambles. I'm not going to cry on the show, but my personal life is pretty brutal. It's been a rough year for me. A rough couple years, dude, but yeah, professionally, though, my life is amazing. It's great. I think for tag team wrestling when Randy was here, I was at my apex of tag team wrestling. I think right now when it comes to my singles career, I'm still in its infancy. I feel like especially this year, take Money in the Bank for example. I was so close to getting that briefcase, and then I got knocked up after already RKOing Seth off the top and doing all this crazy stuff. I wrestled Roman, hit him with an RKO, almost had him again, but didn't. So I just feel like right now in my singles career, I'm like the little engine that can't. I'm chugging along, but once I get to the top of the hill, I seem to run out of steam. But right now, I think this match with Seth tomorrow will take me to that next level. I think it's a steady process uphill, but my engine can keep going. I got the fuel, I got the coal, bro. I'm going to keep throwing it in the fire, and I'm going to make it up over this hill. And I think I'm going to see my next singles championship sooner than later. Definitely sooner than Seth, bro. When asked about why he enjoys having Triple H in charge of WWE creative, Finn Balor told the Superstar Crossover podcast, "Just for me, the availability of Triple H at ringside before the shows to just ping ideas back and forth. That was something that wasn't there in the previous couple of years. Obviously, the production meetings would happen separate to where the talent were. I feel like that has been the biggest difference in the last couple of weeks, just that availability of getting clear directions and being able to collaborate on ideas." While WWE has been letting many superstars and employees go over the years, they recently released a list of new hires on Twitter, so here it is. Stephen Trumpy, Manager, Digital Campaign Management. Maurice Edelson, Executive Vice President, Chief Legal Officer. Morgan Frazier, Senior Coordinator, Talent ID and Development. Gabriel Wetch, Analyst, Advertising Analytics. Kenneth Ratto, Manager in Sales. Ryan Katz, Manager, NXT Creative Operations. Jose Menendez, Graphic Artist. Daniel Ventrell, Executive VP, Talent. Russell Barkov, Technical Accounting Director. Ross Cohen, Art Director. Kevin Tolley, Content Curation Editor. Andrew Pissarro, Senior Associate Producer, Podcast. Molly Wasson, Employee Experience Coordinator. John Major, Director Strength and Conditioning. Also, according to the Wrestling Observer, WWE is looking for an operations manager to work with on-air talent. The idea is scheduling, working with the travel department, working with the creative team to make sure the announcers know the key points they need to get across, negotiating with announcers, recruiting new announcers, and helping develop new ideas for announcers. One of the lines is that the operations manager will have direct contact with talent and must be able to manage conflicting egos, personalities, and concerns. When asked by Ariel Helwani about those in his company taking shots at WWE, AEW President Tony Khan mentioned, "I've said it before, I consider all wrestling as competition." Some people ask why I'll talk about other wrestling companies, especially WWE, and I'll tell you. It was literally a book handed to me over 3 years ago before the launch of AEW Dynamite by Warner Media at the time before it was Warner Bros. Discovery. It was telling me what our place was already because Dynamite hadn't launched. We had carved out a space in the pay-per-view business. They handed me a book. It was about how to be a challenger brand. This is what you are. A challenger brand, I learned then 3 years ago, is not the industry leader, but it is also not a niche brand. It is not that. It is a big company. It is Pepsi to Coca-Cola. It is Burger King to McDonald's. What is Burger King marketing? Basically, a lot of it is, hey, McDonald's sucks, guys. So for AEW, it's just part of what we are. We're a challenger brand. There's no reason to pretend we're not. That's what you are. Embrace it. So it is literally a corporate philosophy handed down on high to me by my boss, Warner Brothers Discovery. During that same interview, Khan admitted that the many releases on WWE's end have been beneficial for AEW. There's probably been a bit more similarity in what we're looking for in terms of the profile of a free agent, which I think is already going to start being a thing. I think we're looking at more similar people. There was definitely something happening this year where there were wrestlers being released from there that came here, and I definitely believe belong on national television that are huge stars in AEW. I think we were the benefit. The benefit of that was for AEW. On Sunday night's main event, Ethan Page touched on the AEW product and had this to say: "You're looking at a roster filled with people that spent years kind of starving together. So there's that pocket of the locker room that has a certain bond and camaraderie that will never go away. But as far as the whole company, I don't know. The only thing I know is what happens in the room with the male talent across it. Anyone else that has a name on their door, I don't go in there. I don't know what happens in there. I don't know what their relationships are with the other people on the roster, nor do I care. If you don't change with me, I don't care." Speaking about the backstage issues in the company, he said, "Who cares? Literally, who cares? Who's keeping score? You guys really need to know what our relationships are like behind the scenes? Watch the damn show." With Pat McAfee recently leaving his position as a color commentator on SmackDown to fulfill obligations for ESPN's College Game Day broadcast, the Wrestling Observer pointed out that McAfee is set to return to the blue brand in January. With it said that McAfee will be rejoining the team, it's not known if he will be joining Michael Cole and Wade Barrett or if he will replace Barrett. Speaking of WWE announcers, it seems the company has released one, as PW Insider is reporting Nigel McGuinness was let go. He most recently worked on NXT, with him being a part of the company since 2016. During a recent live stream on her YouTube channel, Ronda Rousey spoke about a creative pitch she made that ended up getting rejected. As she said, "I suggested Legos, but apparently AEW did that recently and we didn't want people to think we're copying, but I wanted to." Rousey also gave her thoughts on Logan Paul facing Roman Reigns at Crown Jewel, saying, "I guess they'll have to protect both of them, so it's going to be like Roman cheats or something and still wins." Yeah, because Logan Paul was still babyface, so I don't think they will let him cheat, but it could be a heel turn if he could cheat. But I think it would be more of like all the bloodlines going to get involved and like gang up on him. In an update on the backstage brawl that took place between Andrade and Sammy Guevara at this week's AEW Dynamite, Dave Meltzer and Brian Alvarez noted on Wrestling Observer Radio, Tuesday night they were talked to, both of them, and they were told no fighting, and Andrade was told that if this is your idea, you're not going to get fired if you fight, but you will be sent home. And Andrade said, "Don't worry, nothing's going to happen. There's going to be no fighting. This was Tuesday night." Sammy was the same thing. Nothing's going to happen. They had security there. Everybody was warned ahead of time. The story that was not on TMZ that I heard from multiple people was that in fact, Sammy did not throw any punches. One person did say that Andrade spun him around and Sammy shoved him, and then Andrade punched him. The other stories were that Andrade just punched him and Sammy did not fight back. This is what I heard from someone I totally trust on this one, that Andrade was waiting, everybody was waiting, Andrade was waiting in the hallway, he got 2 punches in before it was broken up and Sammy didn't fight back. Andrade is trying to get fired. We all know that. When guys want to leave, some will go to great extremes to do that. It's happened with WWE. I've talked to people in WWE who've tried to get fired with some of the craziest things in the world, and I've told them it's not going to work. There were some crazy stories of people trying to get fired. Getting in a fight was never one of them, but there's things much crazier than that from people who wanted to leave and get out and were not going to be allowed to do that because the company wasn't going to release them. Speaking about the previous brawl that took place after All Out between CM Punk, Ace Steel, and the Elite, the Observer would provide an update noting, "We've been hearing a decent amount about it the past week, largely that threatened legal action has stalled everything and nobody has been let go yet, including Ace Steel. There is no time frame for anyone to return at this point. One person has threatened legal action and been uncooperative." In some unfortunate news, Mandy Rose took to social media to pay tribute to her brother who passed away. She was originally set to compete in a 6-woman tag match on Tuesday, but the bout would be cancelled because of this. Fans would share heartfelt messages to Rose as they read, yet NXT was very discreet about it, and in taking her out of the advertised tag team match on Tuesday, Mandy Rose disclosed it on her Instagram today. Rest in peace also to Mandy Rose's brother. My prayers and thoughts to her and her family. Mandy Rose's brother passed away. Feel so sorry for Mandy. It's always sad when you lose someone who is very close to you. My thoughts and prayers go out to her and her family. Praying for Sarah Lee's family and Mandy Rose's family. Her brother passed away. Thoughts and prayers go out to Mandy Rose and her family, as it seems that her brother has passed away. On a positive note, Mandy Rose's faction could be called up to Raw or SmackDown soon, as the Observer reported that. More talk this week of Toxic Attraction being brought to the main roster. And this was your Pro Wrestling News Update. I hope you're all having a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you later.